All right, everyone. So I just finished episode 4 of WWE Unreal titled Heel Turn. Now, for this one, I want to just focus on obviously the main point of the whole thing, which is John Cena's heel turn. This was such a shocking, in the moment thing, right? I mean, watching that, it was one of the best moments I can remember. It has worked beautifully, and they've really done a great job of telling the retirement tour, farewell tour story of John Cena, and the heel turn, I think, has only made that better. I will say, after watching episode 4 and seeing how it all came to be, it also makes you really, really disappointed in when you think about the original creative, having Travis Scott involved, The Rock involved, to see that that version of it has really fallen apart. You know, you have The Rock that's so integral in having this happen, right? He's such a big part of this. And yet, since really he's played no part. And that is, I think, the frustrating part, seeing how this plays out. And it's also kind of a debunking of what was initially claimed, right? Because remember, the whole point of from when The Rock, shows back up on the Netflix premiere until the heel turn was, look, everybody just didn't understand the story, right? That was the whole point. And what this shows us is actually that was never the case. You know, The Rock's team was involved, but it was involved in a much further down the line point, meaning this wasn't something that they had planned from the jump. And that's so frustrating, right? And it's amazing how WWE has still been able to tell a great story despite the fact all of these parts are actually so disjointed and none of it makes a whole lot of sense. You know, at this, all the way the lead up, it was almost like, okay, we can make this all work now, which they did. But because they haven't been able to keep it together in any way, shape, or form, Travis Scott is gone. The Rock hasn't been seen on WWE in any meaningful way in quite some time. It becomes this thing where that aspect of it is completely gone. You know, had I seen this the day after Elimination Chamber, I would have said, man, they have so much going on. This is going to be awesome, right? You're going to have all of this and it all matters so much. And yet a lot of it ended up not mattering at all. But to see the lens, first of all, to see, when Triple H decides to make this decision, all the phone calls he's making, right? All the people he's calling, trying to see if this is the right idea. To, have John Cena and, everybody else in that match not really knowing, but John Cena and obviously Cody know, right? But to have everybody not really know what exactly is going to happen after that is just so shocking. Right. And it was so cool to see how, they're planning out the match and they're just trying to tell the story. And then you have the guys in the truck who are doing the camera angles, and Triple H is having to walk them through the camera angles because they don't even know what's going on. The only thing I wish they put in was I wanted to see more wrestler reaction. What was the reaction from CM Punk after the heel turn? What was the reaction from all of the people backstage? We didn't really get that. And part of that might be because, since this was so in the down low, maybe the camera crew didn't even know it was coming, so they weren't able to really set up to see that. But it was so crucial, right? That heel turn was kept secret and how it all played out, and to see it pulled off and to pull off to that way, and how they show like the fan reaction to it, the little kids crying and all of that because of what was happening. It just shows you the power of what they did. And that's the frustrating part. It's like I watched this. This was my favorite episode so far because it was obviously the biggest moment so far. And to see kind of where we are now from when this happened, and to know that the actual other parts of the story minus the heel turn are basically gone, right? They make no sense. That's frustrating. That makes me very mad because I want to see that. Like if The Rock and was behind Cena right now and they were really going ahead and pulling a lot of the strings and it just felt like this unbeatable faction, that would have been so cool. Not that it's not cool anyways, because it is, but it just makes you so frustrated that this was even a part, because that heel turn was perfection. Everything about it was perfect, from Cody Rhodes turning him down to seeing Cena's reaction to, them hugging, and then The Rock and Cena, them making eye contact. I mean, just perfect. And to know that for a split second, everybody else knew what Cody Rhodes didn't, right? For that split second. I mean, obviously Cody Rhodes knew, but the character Cody Rhodes didn't know. For just that split second, where you see the audience understand what's about to happen. It was perfect. And this episode of the docuseries bore that out perfectly. It was just such a great moment overall. So that's my take on it. I think this was the best so far. I still would have liked to have seen, and this is kind of a common theme, and we might do a video on this after I finish everything. I still want to see more of the kind of planning aspect that we're not getting. And maybe they don't want to give away too many secrets and things like that, and maybe potential storylines in the future. But like, what were the other options? What was there any? Because the way they make it seem here, there was no debate over this because nobody knew. Everybody was in agreement with everything. Where's the real debate here on, the downside to turning him heel? I don't know. I just wish there was a little bit more truly behind the scenes stuff, and not. This feels, like I said, this feels like it's a documentary, right? That you would watch on any legend, where the WWE uses that footage. But either way, it's a very exciting watch. So thank you all for watching.